Hi again, everyone. Kind of a weird day today. With the changes, not even the changes, what's been happening this summer with the channel and everything that's been going on. You start evaluating things and you ask, am I making the right decision? Was this the right choice to make? And today's just been a really weird day. And we'll start with the later thing first to solidify, what I'm doing here, if it was the right decision. Those of you who don't know, most of you do know, I spent 15 years working for Macy's department store, most of the time as a senior director for them in loss prevention. And, I've been saying the company's going under. It's part of the reason I left. The whole culture was just being drug under, and I've done some videos on some store closures and stuff like that to try to, I made the right decision. And then I come across this today. This breaks. Macy's shares sink as discounts to clear inventory hurt. Tourism drops. And let's watch the report.
We also have our eyes on Macy's this morning after, what can we call this? It was a disaster of a quarter. The store came up short on earnings and revenue. It also slashed its forward guidance. Brian, it is hard to find anything good out of this report.
Yeah, Macy's was unable to make CEO Jeff Jeanette available to Yahoo Finance. Talked to him before the show. He's going to have a busy morning, to say the very least.
I don't even know who that is, Jeff Jeanette. Down 16 points. Do you know what that does to 401ks and all that? 16 points.
One thing I would like to highlight, too, is that, I go to these stores and I see what's happening to them in real time. They are very, very lean on inventory. I think consumers are going to the stores and they're being disappointed by the lack of selection. And you see that in the sales only increased 0.2%. Not good. They cut their earnings guidance significantly. And they also pointed out to me, Macy's spokesperson via email, tariffs. They have not made any estimate of the impact of tariffs into the...
Oh, that's bullshit. They already didn't have their inventory on the selling floor. You know what happens when you see a department store running low on inventory, especially a chain like Macy's. They're done for. I saw this come in in 2010. I knew the direction it was going. I knew the people I was dealing with. I really don't take any pleasure in this, other than the fact that I made the right decision, and it gets worse.
The full year guidance, not good at all.
No, the stock down more than 50% from a year ago. It was valued at $6 billion, fell to a 52-week low not long ago. I think it's revisiting that right now. And the CEO blamed a number of things here. Inventory was certainly one of them. They had to really steeply discount to move that inventory off the shelves. And weather, I guess, was another one. That's a favorite of retailers.
And I'll add two other worries here, too. One, employee morale. This is a company that has canned lots of people in the past 2 years.
Employee morale. It was horrendous when I was still there, and then when I called one of my old assistants, and I'm like, "Well, was there some kind of?" She's like, "Dude, everybody's gone. There's nobody left in that company. It's gone. Everybody's gone. They fired everybody. He's like, you'd have been gone too at that point. He's like, you were smart enough to get out early, and the ones who were left didn't listen, or they left long ago. There's nothing left. There was nothing left. 2 years ago, you'd have been out. He's like, you would have been out with the rest of us if you were still there. No severance, no nothing.
And I think morale at the company, I talked to a lot of employees, at Macy's remains very, very low. Secondarily, the dividend. Based on where the stock may open pre-market, they may have a dividend yield of close to 10%. They paid out $463 million in dividends last year. They're on pace to pay that again this year. They may have to cut the dividend.
Yeah, and then really what is attractive about this stock at that point? Credit Suisse warning earlier this month, department stores in general, Macy's of course being one of them, could be in for a quote sobering holiday season. season. They called out the fact that Macy's, in particular, in the second quarter, was much more promotional than planned, and that continues to hurt them.
I think the next shoe to drop here is JCPenney. When they report earnings tomorrow, it could be shockingly bad.
All the box retailers are in trouble. So this ended up being the kind of the cherry on top of whether or not I'm doing the right thing here, of whether I was making the right decision 9 years ago when I left. There was nothing there. There was nothing going to be there. My instinct was right. I always knew my instinct was going to be right. And I always said it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but this is going to happen. And when you're short on inventory in retail, I mean, come on. Come on. So talk to my old assistant. He's like, no, man. He's like, everybody's been gone for years. They took out everybody. Everybody. Gone. The other thing that happened today is I had a phone call with someone who was actually my first phone call I had ever done when I was doing phone calls, and she wanted to update me on some things, and she wanted to let me know that, you know, she had gotten very sick, was in a coma, was on life support. They were ready to pull the plug. She came out of it. She was out for a month. Almost died, you know. Woke up, didn't know who her current boyfriend was, knew her family, but it was a moment in her life. And what she wanted me to know is that, you know, with everything that had been going on the channel, that you know, as harsh as I could be, that it's necessary. And she said, I had a hard time listening to a lot of the things you'd said in some of the videos and some of the things you said to me directly. But you were right, and they needed to be said. And, you know, it wasn't all, yeah, she was being abused by a narc, but at some point, some of the decisions are hers too. And then that hurts other people. And she really wanted me to know, she's someone who almost died. Was in a coma, on life support. And she realized, you know, as harsh as it is sometimes, it's important for me to keep going, to keep being who I am and being blunt and honest when need be, because though she had a hard time hearing it at first and had to turn it off a lot of times, it needed to be said, and it eventually was accepted and got through, and she wanted me to know that. So definitely an enlightening day, you know, as far as what I'm doing here. You know, this and, with that first, the call was first, and I was like, okay, well, this is good. And then this, basically, yeah, that life that people blame you for leaving was falling to shit. That career was going nowhere, was falling to shit, and you were right. So, again, it's very solidifying, and it's very heartening, you know, to know that, you know what, this is the right thing and this is the right path. So thank you, everybody, for your support. I got one story in so far. Hopefully I get a few more. I'll be back probably tomorrow morning, first thing with another story, but there's only one right now, so I want to build up that queue and keep the channel going, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So thank you, everybody, for your support. You guys know what to do with the links in the description box, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody.